Hello? You know what to do. Say hello to me as you're coming in. Let me know that you're watching. Let me know where you're watching from. Gonna be talking about some stuff tonight. So, come on in. Tag a sister, tag a brother, tag an enemy. I don't care. This is something that we have all dealt with, probably still deal with. So we're gonna talk about it tonight, okay? Give you a little bit more time to get back on before we get started. Hello, 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 everyone. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hello. As you're coming on, say hello to me. Let me know where you're watching me from. Send some prayer to that city and that state that you're watching from. So, as you're coming on, say hello to me. Let me know you're watching. I got my 30-minute timer on already. So, we're going to talk about it tonight. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, good to see you. Good to see you. Hello, Tamika. Good evening, Joe. All right, Deacon. Tag some people. Let them know we are on. But we're not going to be on long. Come on. Tag somebody. And share and let them know. Y'all know this. We shouldn't even have to talk about this. Okay, South Carolina. Come on. Come on, Gary. All right. South Carolina is in the house. As you're coming on, please say hello to me. Let me know what city, what state you are watching me from. All right, we got South Carolina in the house. All right, that's my daddy's home state. Come on. I know we got to have somebody from Georgia somewhere on this live. It's too many people. I refuse to believe that there's nobody from my state on this live. Come on in. Let's see. Hello. Hello, Shakila. Hey, glad to see you. All right. Let's see. Are we at that time? We're approaching that time. Hey. Joe said, needed my therapy. You know Georgia in here. Come on now. I just needed somebody to say they were from Georgia so I wouldn't feel by myself. Hey, Shamika. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Now Georgia is showing up, so we're excited. So I'm going to put this little music on a pause because I don't have a personal DJ. I am the DJ and the therapist at the same time, and the production assistant and the producer herself. So we're just going to make this work the best way we can. I'm so glad to see you all on tonight. Believe it or not, I missed y'all. Took a little hiatus just to do some things and take care of me. So you know I got to ask you the question, how are you doing? Are you okay? And so I just want you to put down in the comments, let me know how you're doing. Let me know if you're okay. Let me know if you're not okay. Listen, we're on here and we're going to get through this thing together. So tonight, we are talking about dealing with something that everybody has dealt with before. And it's a big word, it's a small word, but it's big and it starts with an R. Can you guess it? You did. Regret. Anybody that has walked the face of this earth has dealt with regret. Hello. All right. There we go. There go Grace Life. Glad to see my own church members in here. But we've all dealt with regret. And so regret is kind of like, it's a feeling where you have made a lot of choices that you felt were the wrong choices. Have you ever felt like that? You were like, ooh, I shouldn't have done that, or I shouldn't have said that, or ooh, why am I thinking this? Come on, everybody on this live, I know that you have had that experience where you're like, oh my God, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have drank that. I should not have gone over there. And it leaves you with these feelings of regret. And sometimes we can regret paths that we feel like we should have taken, but we did not. And so tonight, we're going to talk about dealing with regret, because we all have something that either we regret doing or that we regret not doing. And so you have to know how to put these feelings in the proper place so that they won't be stored in a compartment that adds to the negativity in your life. And so let's talk about what regret is. Basically, it's an incredibly painful emotion. Nothing about regret makes you feel good at all. Regret is a very painful emotion, and it's usually rooted in feelings of like contrition or disappointment, guilt or remorse for things that have happened, or things happened in the past, or things that have not happened that we felt like would have happened had we did what we thought we should have done. And so everybody has those feelings. But the problem comes in is when you are feeling regret over past choices and past mistakes. You might sometimes miss out on the joys of the present moment. I'm going to say that again. If you are just obsessing and always thinking over the things that did not go right in your past, moments that you feel like you may have missed and may not ever get again, you are also robbing your present of having a carpe diem, a seize the moment, a time where you can appreciate the things that you are doing right. Listen, I need you to give yourself a little bit more credit than you've been giving yourself. Listen, you are absolutely phenomenally amazing. Did you know that? You are amazing, or else why would you still be here? You are needed, or else why would you still be here? So I need you to reaffirm to yourself that you are amazing despite your choices, despite the path that you have taken. I need you to know that you're still amazing, you're still incredible, and life will still be good. And so again, when we're dealing with regret is defined as an aversive emotion focused on the belief. Remember, everything that we deal with comes from our thinking, okay? Some people call it stinking thinking or whatever, but it comes from our thought process. And so regret is defined as an aversive emotion that is focused on the belief that some event from the past could have been changed in order to produce a more desirable outcome. That is what regret is. It is a fixation. So let me use this. Oh my God, I married the wrong person. If I had married Tom when he asked, then I never would have met Mark. And now my life is not in a position that I wanted in. I should have married Tom when he asked me. Well, guess what? You didn't. Okay? You did not marry Tom. So what you've got to stop doing is fixating on Tom. You are with Mark now. And so you've got to get your fixation off of everything that you liked about Tom that maybe Mark doesn't do. Because let's remember, if Tom were all that great, why didn't you pick him? So again, you have to, because they say the devil is in the details, you definitely have to be careful when these thoughts are coming to your mind and trying to make you feel bad about things that you did not do, things that you did do, people that you should have chosen. Like, I'm going to tell you, I regretted that I didn't go to an HBCU to get my bachelor's. I was like, you know, I think life would have been better for me had I just gone to Georgia State, or, you know, had I gone to a historically black college. But I had to tell myself, listen, we have not been in school to get our bachelor's in 20 years. Okay, so thinking about it, worrying about it, regretting my decision, which actually did pay off for me, regretting my decision is not going to change my current status. Somebody needs to put that on there tonight. Regretting the past will not change the current position that you're in. You can learn from the past, but sitting there and obsessing over it, and beating up on yourself, because let's face it, what is regret is when you literally think about something you didn't do that you should have done, and now you're beating up on yourself because you feel like all of this is my fault. Listen, we've all made choices, we've all made decisions that if we could go back in time, we would change the outcome, okay? But I need you to focus on, what did you learn? What did you learn through what you regretted? Because any emotion that comes, you should learn something from that emotion. And you've got to ask yourself, what is this emotion trying to tell me? Is there something that I have not let go of in my past that I really need I need to let this thing go? I am tripping over something that happened 26 years ago, and the person that did it, they're dead. I'm really tripping. Like, I'm really sitting here regretting. No, you got to live in the moment. Give yourself permission to live in the moment. I need you to put that. I'm giving myself permission to live in my now. You would be surprised how many people that you know who are still living in the past. They're walking around in the present, but they're living in the past. How crazy is it to walk around in the present, but you're still living in the past? You can't get over it. There are some churches that are like that. They're like, we're not changing anything, our doctrine, anything. It is what it is. There are some people who are living in the past, but you cannot be one of them, okay? So here are some characteristics of regret, because we're going to push through this thing. We're going to push through it. And I hope that you have shared this live with someone, because what I have found out, being a counselor, also being a pastor, is that we can get prophecies, but if we don't have principles to help us navigate the promises of God, we can still miss out. And then we'll be mad at God, and it's not God's fault at all. So characteristics of regret. Number one, if you are feeling regret about something or someone or something you did or didn't do know that regret always focuses on the past. Somebody should type that. Regret always focuses on the past. Regret is not going to say, hey, it is right now, so you need to regret the moment right now. No, how can I regret what I'm doing right now? I haven't done it yet. So again, regret focuses on the past. Number two, it's a negative, aversive emotion. It is a negative, aversive. There is nothing that is positive about regret. You will not hear anybody use the word regret in any sentence and they feel happy about it on the opposite end. It's always going to be associated with a negative emotion, a negative connotation, a negative occurrence. So again, number one, it focuses on the past. It's going to keep you stuck in the past. Number two, it's a negative emotion, and it's aversive, okay? Then the third thing, it focuses on aspects of the self. What regret has you doing is it has you looking at yourself, and it has you highlighting all of the things about you that you don't like, that are not good. Regret will come and say, you know what? The reason that you're not married right now, you should have went on over there to that matchmaking place and let them. That's why you're not married. Or you've gained all this weight through Corona. That's why you're not married. Regret will come to make you look at yourself, but not in a way where I can analyze, or you can analyze and say, how can I grow from this? Regret has you looking at yourself, like you are always the problem and there is nothing about you that is good. So when you're having these feelings of regret, you have to be careful, because regret is going to just have you focusing on you. You're not really thinking about sometimes how you hurt somebody else, even though you're like, I regret hurting you. You're still saying that there's something that affected me that I regret doing to you. So it focuses on aspects of the self. Number 4, it leads to upward comparisons. Listen, comparison is a tool of the enemy. Listen, the enemy and regret will have you comparing yourself to people whose walk is nowhere near your walk. You'll be comparing yourself to somebody that's not even on your level, or they're not on your level. And that's what regret would do. See, if you had done this, you could have what she had. And as parents, we have to be careful even in how we say this to our children, because we can have them feeling like they made this mistake that is just so horrendous that they can never bounce back from it. They can't learn from it. And this is just the way that life is going to be. So again, we have to watch our conversations. When we're saying that we regret things, we're comparing ourselves sometimes to people who are nothing like us. What do I look like regretting that I can't be Beyonce? I know I'm not Beyonce. I mean, I can sing, but I don't sing on her level. And I know that I'm not Beyonce. But on the other note, Beyonce ain't no Dr. C. You understand what I'm saying? So comparison, regret will have you comparing yourself to people that you can't even identify with sometimes. And it'll be saying, you know what? You should be more like her. Look in Hollywood, how there's some actresses and actors who have felt the need to conform by lightening their skin, because they felt like they would not last in Hollywood if their skin was of a darker hue. And then they find themselves regretting that they were born dark or born black. Listen, who God made you to be is beautiful, and stop comparing yourself to other people. Let me tell you something that I've learned. You can look at a person's life on the outside and you have no idea the type of hell that they're catching on the inside just to maintain that lifestyle. I hope somebody heard me. You can look at somebody's life and you can say, oh my God, she has it so good. She has it so easy. She's got a beautiful husband. She's got great kids. She's got a thriving career and everything. Like, her life is just amazing. You have no idea. How many of us looked at Beyonce? Now, listen, I love Beyonce. I love her as an entertainer. How many of us, though, women especially, looked at Beyonce and said, man, if I had her life right about now, I would be so happy. If I had a career that was thriving, if I could sing and dance like Beyonce, if I looked like Beyonce, if I was light-skinned with those hazel eyes like Beyonce, if I had long hair, and here you are comparing yourself. But how many of us were looking at Beyonce, and then when she got married to Jay-Z, we had no idea that Lemonade was coming? We had no idea that she was going through something that was going to produce this whole entire body of work called Lemonade, about how her own husband allegedly had an affair on her. But regret will have you sitting there saying, you know what? I should have went on in the music industry. I could have been like Beyonce. No, that was not your walk. The only person who can be Beyonce is Beyonce. Just like the only person who can be you guessed it, is you. And this is what you have to tell yourself. Listen, I'm not comparing myself to Beyonce. I love her look. I love how she sings. And I'm no Beyonce, but Beyonce ain't no Dr. C. Oh, come on now. And so you have to affirm yourself, because regret will have you feeling bad about who you are and all of the decisions you make. And guess what? It will even stifle future decisions that you should be making, because you're focusing on the past and afraid that if you make a decision, it's going to turn out like it did in the past. Again, that's what regret does. And the last characteristic of a regret is that it often blames you. Here's a conversation. Regret. You are having a conversation with yourself in your head, and you are blaming yourself for things that did not go right, for things that happened the way that they did. Listen, I had to get past regret as well. When my mother went home to be with the Lord, I had a lot of regrets, and some of you all may deal with that as well. Like, I was like, if only I had maybe called her at the right time, maybe I could have spared this. And then I had to really sit down and I had to do the work, and I had to allow God to bring back to my memory how many times I was there for my mother, how often I was there for my mother, how I broke my back to please my mother, to make sure she was okay, to take care of her. And I had to end up telling myself, I cannot blame me for what happened to my mother. When it is her time, it is her time. I can't stop it by being, if I was there or not. I could not have stopped it if that was the time that God said, listen, it's time for you to come home and be with me. I could have been there with her, and it still would have happened, and I still couldn't have stopped it. That's for somebody that's watching me. I need you to understand that even if you had been there, if that is what is preordained to happen, then it's going to happen. There's nothing you could have done to change it, to stop it, or to make it better. It's called life. And we live life. And when I say we live life, I mean we live and we learn as we're living life. We're learning about life as we live it. So again, regret brings about condemnation. It causes you to condemn yourself. And then you're going to start second guessing everything that you know that you're good at. You could be the best baker in the world, but because you had this one time that cake did not turn out right, now all of a sudden here you are blaming yourself and questioning the gifts that you've been given, asking, you know what? Maybe baking is not for me. Now, you are forgetting about the hundreds of cakes that you baked that turned out all right. The thousands of people that have eaten your cakes and have been pleased at the taste of it. That one cake that didn't turn out right has you fixated. It has you stuck. And when I say fixated, I mean stuck. When I say fixated, I mean you're stuck. I mean your mind is still thinking about it. You're still reacting to it as if it is current, but it is no longer current. And in most cases, it's not even relevant anymore. Ooh, I hit a soft spot with somebody right there. There are times when what we are obsessing over and the regrets that we carry, these things are not even relevant to us anymore. It's not relevant to the life that we're living. It's not relevant to where we are right now. So you have got to take a minute and you got to breathe and you got to release yourself from that regret. This is for somebody. I don't know who, but you've got to release yourself, sister. Come on, sis. Come on, bruh. You cannot live life full of regrets. If you took a chance on something and it did not work out, then hey, it just didn't work out. C'est la vie, such is life. Keep moving. Don't get stuck in the same place because of the fact that you're like, okay, I tried something and it did not work out. I'm never trying it again. How do you not know that the next time you try it wouldn't be better? Okay, let me go Bible. When there was the man in the Bible, we know him, the blind man, and he could not see when Jesus initially spat into the clay and put the mud on his eyes. When he looked, he said, "Look, I see men that look like trees." Okay, then Jesus said, "Go do something else. Go wash in the pool of Siloam." Listen, there are just sometimes in life you're going to have to understand that you're going to have to keep at it. You're going to have to be consistent. You know what kills a lot of hopes and a lot of dreams? Inconsistency. You know what causes a lot of regrets? inconsistency. Being consistent at being inconsistent. Wow. Y'all, are you on? I hope y'all shared this. Some people are very consistent at being inconsistent, and they don't regret it. But if you're dealing with regret tonight, I'm going to give you a couple of ways that you need to deal with it. And I'm only going to, for the sake of time, I only have 5 minutes. For the sake of time, I'm only going to be able to share a few of them with you. And then I have an important announcement to make for next week. It's going to be all the way lit. It's going to be litty. So here are some tips for coping with regret. You've got to practice. Notice I said practice self-acceptance. Somebody put that down there in the comments. You've got to practice self-acceptance. Now, some people may think that that's crazy because you'll be like, how can I be me and not accept me? Oh, there are a lot of things that you may not accept about you. That's why we try to change it. We may not like our hair, so we go buy a wig that we do like. You know, we may not like our teeth, so we go get them whitened. There are a lot of things that you don't accept about yourself that you're not even thinking about. So you got to practice self-acceptance, which means this is not going to be something that just comes normal to you. You're going to have to practice this. So acknowledging and accepting what you are feeling is essential. Acknowledging and accepting what you are feeling is essential if you're going to arrive at self-acceptance. When you accept yourself and what you are feeling, you're able to recognize that your value is not defined by your mistakes or your failures. I need you to type, my life is not defined by the mistakes I made or the failures in my life. That mistake is not going to define the rest of my life. That failure is not going to be the cap on who I can be. Because I love me. I accept me for who God made me to be. Even if I'm not Beyonce, I love Dr. C. I love my hue and how he made me. So you've got to practice self-acceptance. You got accepting yourself and your feelings doesn't mean that you want to change things or that you don't want to change things or you don't want to do better. It just means that you're able to recognize that you're always learning, you're always changing, and you're always growing. I need somebody to put always. That is the Pee-wee's Playhouse word of the night. Always. We are always learning, always changing, and we are always growing. So why would you sit there and lie in a bed of regret when there's so much life out there for you to live? And your life is not defined by your mistakes. Listen, can I tell you that some of the greatest things that we have now, the greatest discoveries that we've had came from mistakes. Penicillin was a mistake. They came up with penicillin because they put the wrong thing in the wrong thing. But it turned out to be the right thing, and now it has helped so many people. So again, you have got to practice self-acceptance. This is why I am a big believer and big on writing out affirmations for you. Nobody should be able to tell you who you are. You tell yourself who you are. I decide who I am, okay? I'm not going to let you tell me I'm nothing, because I'm saying to myself, I'm everything. I'm loved. I'm amazing, and I will affirm myself even if you don't. So the second one I will give you for tonight is to forgive yourself. I'm going to take a very, very dramatic pause on that. Forgive yourself. Type that in there. Say, I forgive me. I forgive me for every mistake I made. I forgive myself for every stupid decision I made. Come on, we've all made them. I forgive myself for not knowing that I should have done this. I just didn't know. But I forgive myself and I don't blame myself, and I'm not putting myself on the stand anymore to be criticized by a jury, which is me. I'm not going to do that. I forgive myself. That's my timer, y'all. That's my 30-minute timer. But we're going to finish this one right here. So, regret always involves a component of guilt and self-re-incrimination. You do this to yourself over and over. Remember, we're talking about getting off a repeat? You do this to yourself. You re-incriminate yourself when you think about it. So again, it's finding ways to forgive yourself that help you relieve yourself of some of the negative feelings associated with regret. So how do I forgive myself? Accept the fact that you made a mistake. And accept the fact that making mistakes is a part of the process. But forgiveness is a part of the process as well. Making mistakes is a part of the process, but also forgiving yourself is a part of the process, because forgiveness also requires you to practice self-compassion. You've been beating up on yourself. You don't need a bully. You've been doing that on your own. You don't need any haters. Some of y'all have been doing an amazing job of beating up yourself. We know that doesn't come from God. It comes from the enemy. But the thing is, you've got to understand that I have the right to forgive myself. I have the right to show compassion to me. Yes, it was a dumb mistake. I regret doing it. I regret saying it. I regret not going. I regret going. Okay, I did it. It's in the past. I can't change that. But guess what? I'm going to show myself some compassion. I'm going to show myself some love, because one thing that I forgot as I was regretting is how much I extend myself to people already who never pour back into me. And I regretted not going, but I had to realize I was a little tired that day. I was already zonked. I had nothing more to give anybody. So if I had gone to that function feeling like this, that would have been another thing to regret. Y'all would have been mad at how I was acting, because I just wouldn't have been there in that moment. So I forgive myself for not showing up to that. And I'm having compassion on myself because I understand. I stayed behind not because I didn't like the person, not because I didn't want to support them. I stayed behind because I needed to rest. I stayed behind because I'm trying to practice the fourth commandment, which is to rest, to have that Sabbath and to rest. That's still a commandment, y'all. And if you're not doing it, you're not obeying God. So we have those two, and I have run out of time, so I can't give you all of it tonight. But again, I want you to understand it is okay to forgive yourself for what you did or did not do. And it is okay to love yourself for who you are. Not comparing yourself to who you think you should be, because a lot of us are like, if I had done XYZ, I would be so much further in life right now. Well, where you are now may not be the best, but you're there. Make the best of it. Because guess what? One thing I know about paths and roads is that they're always winding. And who's to say you may get the opportunity again to go back and do the thing that you regret not doing years ago. Yeah, thank you. I'm feeling these curls too. I just wanted them before I got on this live. Thank you for the compliment. I don't know how long they're gonna stay, but yeah, they hanging in there. Praise God. But listen, forgive yourself, love yourself, treat yourself. I just talked to a client today, and I said, you know what? You have made gains, but what you've not done is celebrated the gains that you've made. You got to take time to celebrate you. Celebrate your growth. Celebrate your learning. Do you understand what I'm saying? Listen, I hope that this has helped somebody. So my special announcement is, listen, y'all, before I get off, before I conclude tonight, next Wednesday, y'all, I will have a special guest. This lady is my big sister. We've been through a lot together. We're not blood sisters, but you really couldn't tell because we act like it. But we are going to be talking about to wife or not to wife. To wife or not to wife. Keep your eyes out for the flyer that will advertise it. Listen, I want you to go ahead and start getting your questions ready. This is, my sister's been married 30-something years and can tell you a whole lot about marriage, tell you a whole lot about the transition from being single to being married. And she's going to give some words of wisdom to those of us who are still waiting. Some of you who already are married and you're like, listen, if I don't get out this house with this person, it's about to be a homicide. Yes. Woosah, take a deep breath, okay? And what we're going to talk about next week is to wife or not to wife. Do I need to be married at this point, or am I functioning better single? So we're going to be talking about that, and I'm going to give you time to ask questions. So I want you to go ahead and start getting these questions ready. Because if it's one thing y'all know about Dr. C, it's going to be raw and uncut. Okay, there's not going to be any sugarcoating at all. And so she's going to give us some tips and some tools to let us know to wife or not to wife. Don't worry, men, my brothers, I did not forget about you all. I got my brother coming on as well. And he's going to talk about, listen, should I boo you up or should I not boo you up, or should I be booed up? We're going to talk about these things, and I want you to join me next Wednesday at the hour of 8 o'clock p.m. because it's going to be amazing. I'm going to, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go to YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Dr. C, Dr. Christina, you'll see it. Also, if you're not following me on Instagram, I put some stuff on there that really can help you. Sometimes it doesn't make it to Facebook, but it'll be on Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, go follow me on Instagram, Dr. Christina Sherrard. Same thing for YouTube. Go and subscribe to my channel. You can go watch replays of things that we've discussed, sermons, all of those things. So again, don't sign on late next Wednesday because we're starting on time. I'm going to give y'all my customary greeting, and then we're going to dive into this thing, to wife or not to wife, okay? Now, if anybody else starts doing it, they probably copying, but we don't care. It's going to be what it's going to be. Listen, did this help anybody tonight? Yes, you do have the right, Tamika, to forgive you. Listen, I know y'all, this is what the Bible says. Until you can forgive your fellow man, Christ can't forgive you. Your fellow man includes you. Forgive yourself. You did it. It didn't turn out right. Okay, I'm sorry. We won't do that again. We know better. Now, we do better because we know better. But I do want you to forgive yourself. Again, do not live life full of regrets, but instead learn from those mistakes, accept who you are, love yourself, and show yourself some love and compassion. You deserve it. You've been through a whole entire pandemic. Come on, people. And you still standing, and your smile may be fake, but you're still showing them, right? So again, give yourself permission to love yourself. Stop beating yourself up because sometimes you are your own worst enemy. Stop beating yourself up and begin to love yourself, because if God loves you, then there's something there that is what? Lovable. So I am going to sign off tonight. I'm trying to find my music. Y'all see me looking, but I'm signing off. And I hope that if you go back and listen to this and replay it, I hope that, my music don't want to play. There it is. I hope that you come back with some nuggets, and you may say, I didn't even hear that the first time when she said it. Go back and watch this again. I promise you, you're going to start to see where you need to change mindsets, mental models, and you may even have to change some people if they are contributing to these regrets, okay? So I love you all. God bless you. See you next time.